Here they are, all ready to go.
How you doing?
The e-business bosses.
We're all ready to go.
Are we all ready?
Yes.
Not too nervous?
No.
Come on, guys, you're on YouTube every 2 minutes.
YouTube, you can start and stop,
Oh yeah, good point. Well,
Mucha Murapa on BBC Radio Suffolk.
Okay, so it is time now for the entrepreneur's journey. Normally we have one entrepreneur here, or we have a husband and wife. I think this is the first time we've actually got 3 entrepreneurs here. They are a great bunch of guys, and they will be with us in just a moment.
Mucha Murapa on BBC Radio Suffolk.
To you, Nick.
Good evening to you, Mucha. How are you?
I'm very well and really pleased to have you here.
Good.
Ed, welcome.
Thank you, Mucha.
And Sam.
Good evening.
Hi. Now, Nick, a bit of a first. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to have folks back on the show. I've had several. I've even had someone on consecutive weeks, but never in the studio. They might be on the phone one week and the next week. So
back to back.
I mean,
a bit of a legend.
Yeah, a bit of a legend indeed. But welcome to and thank you. And I mean that heartfelt thank you, because just a bit of background information. We tend to work very hard here at the studio in getting our entrepreneurs to come in, and most of mine I've not necessarily got previous with, but they've been on my radar for a while. Ben Parker, who among other things works on Leslie Dolphin's show, sent over your details probably a couple of months ago, and it was just very impressive what you're doing. And interestingly enough, when you came last week to be as part of the expert panel, Nick, and you brought your boys with you.
Yeah.
I just really thought, you know what, fair play to them. They're all, and for you guys just to sit in the green room, cheering him on, and I just thought, fair play to you guys.
We support each other, and I said to these guys, I would prefer it if you would come, because it is nerve-wracking as well. But this week I feel like a bit of a veteran now.
Yeah. You've been telling the other
tips.
two just to sort of
He's a modest guy, isn't Nick?
So I have obviously done quite a bit of research behind what you do and who you guys are. You were very gracious with the information that you provided. But why don't you tell us, Sam, who are you collectively as eBusinessBoss.com?
Well, yeah, that's sort of what we're here representing. But eBusiness Boss basically encompasses everything we've done in our online journey. So we run a couple of online businesses. And what we're doing with eBusiness Boss is letting people know our journey, what we're doing, the pitfalls, so they can learn from our mistakes. And just so they can follow us, really.
So you're kind of documenting what you do and what you're learning. So very much in line with kind of what we've mentioned all the time, that you sort of teach what you learn. Yeah,
I think, sorry, I'll jump in. What we want to do, what the whole sort of aim of it, eBusiness Boss, is really we want to try and teach people to do what we've done. So we're all working full time. We started building our first online business, selling physical products online. Within sort of 18 months, we'd all quit our jobs. And I mean, it hasn't just been really straightforward. It's been very difficult, but we thought we've got a bit of an opportunity here to just document what we're doing and try in the process, in the long term, teach people to do what we've done. So we try and share all of our, ups and downs. Someone said to me a little while back, Jeff Bezos, the guy who's created Amazon.com, had been documenting what he'd been doing when he'd been first sort of packing books up and sending them out. How many views do you think that video would have got nowadays? I'm not saying we're quite there yet, but no, I just thought it was a great concept.
No, indeed, and I mean, Ed, we were the ones who were initially in touch. There are 3 of you, so clearly you have all your different roles. Why don't you tell us about sort of what each of you do within the business?
Yeah, so from an e-business boss point of view, I sort of look after the logistics, finance, probably the boring aspects of it. Nick is very much an ideas man. He comes up with some fantastic ideas. And Sam, he is great at putting it all together. So taking the ideas, getting it out there on paper, and doing things like sort of, I don't want to say like the writing of listings as such, but do you know what I mean, some really good writing, putting some really good stuff out there, and we try and amalgamate it all together in the best way we can. So use each other's strengths, basically.
Was there ever a conscious effort to say, right, let me focus on this, or let me learn this particular, or did you just kind of bring these different skills and attributes?
Well, for example, eBusiness Boss, a large part of it is our YouTube channel, and Nick is more naturally, natural, I guess, in front of the camera. So he's taken on that role of basically at the moment being the main face of eBusiness Boss. Although Ed and I contribute ideas for content, Nick's the one in front of the camera. Ed and I have done a couple of videos. So that's just an example of where, okay, Nick's probably better at that. So he's taken on that role.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for example, like with the YouTube channel, we've recently just done a video on shipping logistics. Well, that's my background. I know it like the back of my hand. So I've taken on that video. Sam, he's very much involved with the physical product side of the business, writing a lot of listings, sales copy. That's really important because it captures the customer's eye. So he's done a video on that. And yeah, like Sam said, it's basically just trying to get all the ideas out there in the most fun way possible, because being an entrepreneur is meant to be fun. Yeah. So.
Well, that's a good point, and we're gonna listen to another song now, but we're going to come back about that whole aspect of having fun, because, as I've said before, that it really does, it brings a lot of warmth to me to see you guys together, to see the journey you're going on, the fact that you're there for one another as well, because as we know, this stuff can be challenging as well. Yeah, we had the Ed Sheeran song just a moment ago, Castle on the Hill. The next one is The Kooks, She Moves in Her Own Way. Whose choice was this?
Yeah, that's mine.
That was yours, Ed.
Yes.
And why'd you like it?
It was one of the first albums that I ever bought. I loved every single song on it, and yeah, I think it just resonates like when you're sort of a 15, 16-year-old. I just absolutely loved it. So yeah.
Business Boss founders, Ed, Nick and Sam here in the studio. Ed, that was your choice, and by all accounts someone very near and dear to you didn't even know that.
Yeah, I've just had a text come through from the girlfriend. So yeah, Misha, I know you're listening. I do like the Kooks.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. So let's take things back, because with the entrepreneur's journey, we start with the here and now and what you're doing now. How did the three of you sort of, where did you first meet with view to sort of starting something like this? And guys, just jump in.
Yeah, I mean, where it all probably started, we've all been friends for quite a while, and I think was it about 4 or 5? No, it was probably about 5 years ago. We just got together and said, we're really interested in setting up a business, and we're all quite entrepreneurial, and we thought, what can we do? So we said, well, we're all interested, so let's go and sit down. And we went to the Fludgers.
Yeah, the Fludgers in Felix.
Great restaurant. Plug of it. And we sat down round a table for a couple of hours and just started brainstorming ideas, didn't we? And we came up with our first business venture, which was like an online directory for tradesmen. It was quite popular, to be fair, and it was reasonably successful, but it was just took so much of our time up, and we realised that it probably just wasn't going to work for us in the long run. So after
especially with full-time jobs, wasn't it? I think
that was
if you're going to have a part-time business, you need to see that there's that progression, and with that we sort of hit a ceiling and realised it probably wasn't going to happen.
But that is one of the real key things with entrepreneurs, particularly the ones that get it. They know when to cut their losses. They know when to say, look, this isn't working, let's say. I think many of us have been guilty in the past of just sort of hanging in there too long, and all the grief and stress that comes with it. So how long a period of time was it before you guys decided, look, this isn't maybe it?
I mean, it was probably a year, and it sort of it got to the point where we'd had like the financial year had finished, and we looked at it, and it's funny. It started probably the online journey for us, because it was the change of concept. So, as we all know, a directory is a hardback book or something that comes through the post, the yellow pages, and we thought, let's move it onto the internet. Let's get this on social media. So I think the concept was great, but like Sam mentioned, it was a venture whilst we were still trying to do a full-time job, and it just...
Be on our lunch break, wouldn't we? Having to go meet
I mean, we really
photos,
went for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we'd be late back, and they're like, "Where have you been?"
Yeah.
Long lunch.
Sorry for being late back on all the lunches.
Sorry about that.
They burnt my fries were cold, so they had to cook them again. When you were doing that, and this is just a question that I'm throwing out there, and Ed, obviously keeping an eye on the finances and the money, did the tradesmen, was it a financially viable model? Were they prepared to pay for what you were promising to deliver?
Being brutally honest, as a full-time venture, no. Unless you're going to honestly probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of tradesmen coming on.
Yeah.
And it was very much Felixstowe based, so you had to be careful not to tread on anyone's toes. If you're going to have one carpenter on, is another carpenter going to be happy with that? So probably not. I mean, as an experiment, I found it really useful. I think Sam and Nick did as well. But it was, I think you sometimes realise things aren't viable once you've given it a go. So.
But that's the beauty too about there being three of you.
Yeah.
Because too often when you are a quote unquote a solopreneur, there's no one to and the minute someone says something, oh, you don't believe in me, whereas the three of you guys were able to sort of come to. We're going to cover some of this in the quick questions anyway. But who tends to keep it real the most out of the three of you?
I suppose.
Old Steady Eddie, probably.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say myself, but it is Steady Eddie.
But you see, guys, financiers, this is it. The numbers tell a story. This is my big brother, bless him. All he says, look, you don't have to tell me about it. Just let me see the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's
I
the
don't
right
know
answer
why
then,
we were thinking about that. I was thinking,
He has to rein us in, I think.
Yeah,
and of course, the magic. It tends to be a tough coexistence, but the magic is when you've got the ideas guy and you've got the implementer and you've got the copy chief, and they're able to impress upon their ideas with the finance guy and understand that they both got a role. But I know personally from this, if you don't get the economics right,
100%. You can have the best. I think you can have the best idea going, but if the money, if the numbers don't add up, then it's just a non-starter.
It's communication as well. I think we've been doing it full time now, running our sort of online physical product businesses amongst all these other things for coming up 2 years full time, and we found that maybe at the beginning we weren't communicating as well as we could have been. And last year we really took it upon ourselves to sit down, analyse everything, and now we regularly sit down on a weekly basis, but every month we'll set targets. Each of us know what we're working towards, and at the end we'll get to the end of the month, we'll review them, tick off anything we've got to. If we haven't managed something, why not? And we can communicate between each other, and it's all taken a step forward, I think.
Oh, that's brilliant. We're going to carry on with the music. I have the founders of eBusiness Boss here, Ed, Nick and Sam. They're also sharing their music with us. The next song is The Foo Fighters. Whose choice was this?
That's mine.
Yes, indeed. And why'd you like it?
To be honest, it just gets me pumped up, to be honest. I love listening to it before I play football. It's just one of those songs, I think, Okay, folks, we're going to play Best of You by the Foo Fighters. Sam, chest out and get really fired up about that, Sam. That was something else. The Foo Fighters.
Going craziness.
Love it.
Yeah, indeed. I have Nick, Sam and Ed, who are the founders of eBusiness Boss. And before we took time out for that song, you were talking about the very first venture that sort of took you maybe a year to realise that this wasn't quite working. So what was next after that?
So we started to do research pretty quickly. I mean, we were frustrated, let down. We just wanted to find... We all knew that we wanted, some sort of online business, so we just got straight to it. I don't really think we gave it even a day. Still, looking for the next sort of idea that might suit us, and we came across the idea of an Amazon FBA business, where you're basically importing products from, countries like China, India, Europe, in some cases, private labeling products, creating your own brands, and basically selling your own products online. I think we got sort of pretty stuck into the research, and within sort of 3 months we decided we'd set up another business.
So forgive me, I'm going to take me back a little bit. You would go online and buy something for yourself and then resell it?
No, so I mean, that is in part what we do. We do resell on sort of the wholesale business model side of things. But no, this side of things is actually called the private label business model. So in this case, you're going onto Amazon.co.uk, for example. You can use software to look at listings that are performing well, and you can find products that are selling really well. And people will be amazed. Some things on Amazon.co.uk are selling, 300 units a day, which is big business. It's why Amazon are as big as they are. They're all about the customer. And yeah, we found a product. Our first product we sold, we don't sell it anymore, but it was like a water bottle. And we sort of bought 500 units. We branded it up. We thought of a clever brand name, did all the sort of certification side of things, and made sure it was safe to sell. And within, I think 3 or 4 weeks, we'd launched the product and it was selling. That was it.
How did that feel, Sam, the first time? Because I remember myself, but what was the first feeling of going to bed one night, waking up the next morning, and you realise you've had money while you sleep?
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? I think Ed always goes on about what Warren Buffett says. What's his quote, Ed?
Yeah, Warren Buffett is that you'll never be rich until you can make money whilst you sleep.
Yeah, so
very nice.
And that's exactly
Buffetology.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I watch everything. I probably watched I've exhausted YouTube and watched every single video.
You need to get together with my big bro. You guys are just, you'll sit down and talk Buffett and numbers and things like that, and have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was particularly when you're still working full time as well, and this is a part-time business, and I'd be checking my phone throughout the workday, and we're getting sales on Amazon, and it was just amazing. But I think Nick mentioned the specific type of selling, and Amazon FBA was what made us able to do that. So what FBA is it's fulfillment by Amazon. So we send our products into their warehouses, and then they distribute them for us. If we had to do it, we wouldn't have been able to do it, basically, whilst working full time. It just wouldn't have been doable. So
and this is where you then genuinely could be in just the tiniest room, because you don't need storage.
Yeah.
Well, they arrived at my house first time, didn't they, Ed? Which was funny. We had all these boxes. We got a UPS van, my tiny little road. It's blocking the road. We're offloading them. We've still got the pictures of that, which is quite funny to look at.
Well, I think originally I had a phone call from my mum saying, well, they're not coming here.
Yeah.
We had a phone call from Nick's dad saying, they're turning up at the office. We've got a TNT man outside. And then finally, they dropped off at Sam's.
Yeah, I took them in the end.
Yeah, sorry, Dad.
Right, we're here with the Ed, Nick and Sam. Football. I mean, you gentlemen we're all football fans, are we?
Yes.
Tell us about the teams that you support. We'll start with you, Sam.
Yeah, I know you're not too happy with me being a City fan, but yeah, I'm a Man United fan. Obviously, you can tell my voice. I'm from up north. That's okay. But no, I was brainwashed by my stepdad when I was younger, so that's my excuse for being a United fan.
And of course, I mean, growing up as a kid, was that during their sort of like with Keane, Scholes, Beckham, and Giggs, and those guys all?
I joke, but I was actually very fortunate because my stepdad, I went to a lot of games with him, and I even went to the Champions League final in 1999 at the Nou Camp. So, I've been very fortunate and had some great experiences. So, very happy with that.
Well, you're forgiven. Nick, who's your team?
So it's all about one football club. I think everyone in the world can agree that Arsenal. Football club is just the most incredible football club on the planet, and that's why I've just got to support them.
Okay. Ed?
Yeah, I mean, all three of us born in Ipswich. I'm the only one that actually supports Ipswich. So, I mean, I was very fortunate. I went to the playoff finals when we got promoted. In 99, 2000. So it's been a long while. I mean, things aren't looking great now, but as I always say, until it's mathematically impossible, there's always hope. You have to be glass half full with football, especially when it's not going well.
You just don't know. It's getting close to where they're going to have to go on a bit of a tear. But hey, listen, until it's mathematical. Do you go to games together?
Well, actually, because I'd say Ipswich obviously have to be my second team, but I've gone to a couple of games with you to go and watch Ipswich play. Have we? We've never been to a football game.
I play football on Saturday afternoon, so the only games I can really go to are midweek. I went to the Man United Burnley game this week. Last week, sorry.
2-2, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it was. I didn't win that one, but so no, we haven't actually gone together, which is odd, actually.
Yeah. And with the work, I mean, is there such thing as a typical day, I know, I mean, you guys collectively, and I know it's a collective, you're very prolific with the content that you put out. And I know for a fact that is hard work. Yeah. So how do you kind of map out the day and the week to take us through? Because correct me if I'm wrong, it's once you get putting out, like you do videos regularly, the biggest mistake is to stop doing that.
Yeah,
100%.
And I think when we started eBusiness Boss, because obviously all the other sides of the business take up a lot of time, we sat down and we thought, okay, this would be a very good idea because we can honestly share our story, really help people learn about Amazon FBA and have some fun with it. But we all said, okay, well, let's do it, but we need to do it every day. So, without fail, there'll be an Instagram post every day. There'll be a YouTube video every week. We're sometimes recording 2 videos a week. There'll be, there's about 40 blog posts up on the website, which are all useful articles, around, making money online and building online businesses. So that side of things, the content is one thing.
And I mean, it doesn't help when you're having to shoot the same scene for like the 15th time because you keep stuttering your words.
But the quality of your vids, and before you guys go, we'll let everyone know where they can find you. But the quality of your vids is good too. So in addition to actually learning the craft, and putting a business together and proof of concept, saying, look, this works and we can find customers. And I mean, you've clearly spent some time learning how to shoot video and do lighting and things like that. Yeah,
it's pretty. I mean, eBusiness Boss, the YouTube content, we all sort of muck in on it, but I suppose I'm in charge of that part of it. And we've got a really useful. We've got this young guy who he actually grew a YouTube channel himself to about 17,000 followers, and he was only, I think was he 17, 18 when he started doing bits and pieces for us?
Yeah, and he's really called Hayden. He's a great guy, and
so shout out to Hayden.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically from the beginning was editing our videos and making them really funny, and we just said, look, you're really funny, so just do what you want with our videos, make them funny. But yeah, since I think December, I've now been learning how to edit them myself, so we're then able to put out more content. Now we're able to do that basically.
It's a handy skill to have, isn't it? And in this whole digital world, I think there are a few things. I don't know if you heard at the very start that the sort of hurdle I had with learning WordPress and just being able to do something there and there. But once you can put together a web page, stick an email autoresponder on there, and just some little things like that, your ability just sort of compounds, doesn't it?
But we found, and I definitely have, you have a problem, a lot of people just give up because it's a problem.
Yes.
So it's, okay, I've got a problem, I'm going to try and solve it. Okay, I haven't found a solution, and you might try 3 or 4 times and people slowly drop off. And I think that's what I've just found. It doesn't matter what your problem is. You just keep going and you go and you go. And when you find the solution, well, actually, you've then got a little niche there because you've actually found a solution that not many people knew about. And you just keep going. And I find I definitely do. If I wouldn't say having a bad day as such, but if I'm busy and I'm thinking, God, this is overwhelming. It's the great thing about having these guys, because you've always got that pick me up of, no, come on, let's keep going, and I think we do that for each other all the time.
I don't think we'd have come as far as we have if it wasn't 3 of us personally.
Definitely
and I really honestly I picked that up in a very short period of time last week, by getting the chance to speak with you and visit with you now. It's just sort of underlined that. And my encouragement to you is, through thick and thin, just stick with it. And I suspect that you're going to continue to go off into different angles, because you're lean enough to sort of say, let's give this a try.
Yeah, definitely.
And if it doesn't, and that's it. That's what you do. Yeah. Back to the music. We've got a song that's got a very personal meaning to you. It is "See You Again." Whose choice was this, and why is it significant?
That one was my one. And basically, we lost a friend of ours, Joe Reynolds, a couple of years ago. Well, 3 years ago now, and it's his birthday this month in February. It's a little dedication to him to say, we still think of you, and.
It's very. I have the eBusiness Boss founders here in the studio with me, and it is time for the quick questions. So we're just going to, Now, Sam, what is an entrepreneur?
I think it's someone who's willing to stick to their guns and chase something that they're passionate about, and basically put in the work until something sticks.
Very nice. If you could spend a day with either Sir Richard Branson or Lord Alan Sugar, Nick, who would it be?
It would be Richard Branson.
Okay, why?
I once read somewhere that his parents used to make him sit down in front of the mirror whenever he'd said something bad about anybody, in order to teach him that it only reflected badly on himself. And I don't know, that's got nothing to do with him, it was his parents' idea, but yeah, I think he's an amazing entrepreneur.
Okay, cool. Ed, it's a rainy day, you're just sitting at home and you're watching either The Dragon's Den or The Apprentice. Which one would it be?
It's got to be The Apprentice. Shout out to our mate Paul. Me and Nick, we hang out with him quite a lot, and he absolutely loves The Apprentice. He's listening now because he loves the show as well.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, brilliant. All three of you, one at a time, starting with you, Sam. Favourite social media platform?
Instagram.
Nick?
Twitter.
Ed?
Facebook.
Oh, well, but again, it complements each other very nicely then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a spender or a saver, Nick?
A saver, definitely.
Yeah. Not always been, have you, Nick? Let's be honest.
I suspect a call-out buzzer.
I was about to say, me and Nick are reformed savers.
Yeah, to be
I've rubbed
fair.
off on them.
Sam is the ultimate saver.
He
I don't know if you can class it as saving.
I'm just tight, let's be honest.
Okay, that's cool.
No, definitely. No,
Well, you're saving all the money to go up to Old Trafford, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, my fiance at home, she'd definitely say that, and she'll be listening. She likes to spend everything where she can, but I'm the one that has to keep it all together and save. Isn't that right, Jodie?
Ed, what are you, buddy?
I like I said, I'm a reformed saver. I used to be a terrible spender, but I'm going for it this year.
Okay, so open mic here. Who's the best dresser out of the three of you?
Oh, well, it's not me. Nick, I can gladly sort of step back. So
Sam.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but you always say I dress too young for my age, so it might not be me.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. It depends what demographic we're going for. I mean, I've got a nice Ralph Lauren jumper on right now.
Probably.
So.
Yeah,
okay.
probably.
We'll say it.
Okay, Ed, you just shade it because of the jumper. All right, you have to close a deal. This is like just a deal, right? And only one of you can go into that room to close it. Who would go?
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, yeah.
Yes.
Nick.
Thanks, chaps. That's nice.
And would you close?
Oh yeah, that would be close.
Can I say, you used to be an estate agent, didn't you? So you closed deals. You used to close deals for a living.
I worked for my dad's company, Diamond Mills, in Felixstowe, for years actually, from about the age of 16 to 24. So
because it's the one big thing, in all seriousness, that with the romance of running a business, you have to learn salesmanship, don't you?
Yeah, and the biggest thing I've learned about salesmanship is add value and give people value without expecting anything in return. And selling is actually, well, you don't even need to sell because it will just happen.
Ed,
yes.
What are Nick and Sam's best qualities? One at a time. What's
so
Nick's
I would say Nick's best quality is his enthusiasm, because he is always enthusiastic, and you know what? On days where it's rainy, cloudy, and you're thinking, no, I can't be bothered with this. He comes in, smile on his face, let's get going.
Is this why he was volunteered last week?
Oh yeah,
he was the guinea pig.
Kindly put me forward.
Yeah, we pushed him through. Go on, Nick, you go in first.
Oh, I'll tell you, you'll be good at that, Nick.
But it's great. I think it always goes to show that particular quality when someone is willing to say, yeah, you know what, I'll do it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
It was an amazing opportunity as well, Mitch. So
no,
thanks.
good. No, my absolute pleasure, pal. And what's Sam's?
I would say, in a very positive way, it's actually Sam's competitiveness. So he is a winner. He plays a lot of football. He's a very good footballer. He always wants to win. When it comes to business, he wants to win. In a positive way, though, there's do you know what I mean? It's like football's a bit different. You really go for it, don't you? But with business, he's just competitive, and he wants to be the best.
So Sam, Ed has said some very complimentary things to you, which moves us very nicely in line with what are Ed's and Nick's most annoying habits.
Nick's has got to be that he never does the washing up in the office.
Okay.
I mean,
I've been trying to get better at that, but
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And Ed?
Ed just likes to wind me up, to be honest. So yeah, it's probably that.
Okay.
He's like my older brother, to be honest.
Who's the biggest schmoozer out of the three of you?
I'd say Nick.
Smooth.
He's anyone.
I suppose Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have to say yourself, then definitely Nick. Yeah.
Okay. And which one out of the three of you wears their heart on the sleeve the most?
I mean,
I'd say Sam.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not very good at hiding my emotions.
Okay.
You can tell what mood I'm in instantly. So
No, that's brilliant. And then taking issues home or leaving them at the door. Now, obviously, your other halves and what have you would sort of vouch for this, but can you have a really rough time at work and you go home and you forget it? Ed, what about you? Do you take them home or do you leave them at the door?
I mean, I like to think that I leave most of it at the door. Misha will definitely think that I probably take most of it home, but I suppose from her perspective, she'll only hear about it when I do talk about it, if you know what I mean. So I try my utmost. I mean, we've got Gus, who's the office dog.
Yeah.
And he's a good sort of stress reliever.
Yes.
Take him for a walk,
Yeah.
lunchtime,
Oh,
after
good for you
work,
guys.
and then.
What about you, Nick?
Sorry, what? Could you repeat it?
Do you take issues home or do you leave them at the door?
Sorry. I suppose I probably do take them home in a sense, just because it's the way I am. I find it quite difficult to switch off from things. So I'm just thinking about it sort of 24/7. But I try to keep it positive and structure how I'm going to deal with things rather than just obsessing over the bad negative point.
Something I forgot to mention is that we always do the movie question where we say, if the movie eBusiness Boss was filmed today and the opening scene is 2019, which actors would play you guys? We're going to play a short trail and we'll come back. As always, I scribbled down my choice of it, but we want to hear your are you up for that?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool.
We do play the songs you love, especially when we got the choice of music from these guys, Ed, Nick and Sam, the co-founders of eBusinessBoss.com. So guys, if the movie took place, Ed, who would play you?
Oh, well, I'm a total heartthrob, so it'd either have to be Channing Tatum or Josh Hartnett, I reckon.
Okay, very good. I'll tell you afterwards who I had for you. Nick?
I'd say Will Ferrell, just because he's weird and I'm pretty weird.
Same curly bonds as well.
Yeah, curly hair.
You're both funny guys.
And that we'll talk more about the Barnet in a minute. Just with my choice of that. What about you, Sam?
I don't actually know his real name, but Simon from The In-Betweeners, because I had the same dodgy quiff when I was a teenager, so yeah, probably him.
So this is who I've got. For you, Ed, I've got a young Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, he's a great actor.
For you, Nick, I've got Andrew Lincoln from The Waking Dead. You know, the guy with the beard. You guys approve. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Sam, Ethan Hawke.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Who's Ethan Hawke?
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke.
I can see that.
Remember Training Day with Denzel?
Yeah.
I
can see
it's
that.
the bad facial hair, isn't it? That's why you've done it.
Well, among
That's
other.
a great shout, actually. Yeah. Sam hasn't shaved for about 4 weeks for this tonight.
So you guys approve, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Okay, excellent. Well, gents, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. But before you go, I really would like to know, what are the plans moving forward, Ed? And then we'll go with Nick and Sam.
For me, it's continually just looking at the next day, the next week, the next year. What can we do just to continue to add value, especially from an e-business boss point of view, just adding value to the viewers, basically.
Yeah. Nick?
Yeah, I think I would love, I think we'd all love eBusiness Boss to be a website and a YouTube channel that people come to, almost as a place to learn, but just, keep in touch with a really honest, sort of unique journey, and actually learn something about maybe starting your own online business or side hustle.
Brilliant. Sam?
Yeah, giving people ideas, to be honest. For example, we're quite open to taking requests as well. So giving our audience what they want. I mean, we've had a couple of comments on YouTube videos where someone said, "Can you do a video on this?" And then we've done it. So keep giving people what they want, really.
Great. And people can learn more about you at eBusinessBoss.com.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, and also the YouTube channel as well. Which I'll put some links for there. Ed, Nick, Sam, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I
so much.
appreciate your largeness of heart as well, and your generosity with the information that you are sharing. I know how much you put into this, guys. So congratulations, and I'll be genuinely keeping an eye out for you. Just stay together and keep working.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
That is Ed, Nick and Sam from eBusiness.